Say Selenium class 1 introduction to Selenium. First chapter index. Observe this chapter index. First one, what is Selenium? What is Selenium? Okay. Today I will explain 3 or 4 topics. Tomorrow we will complete this chapter. This is a lengthy chapter. I think this chapter takes more than 3 hours. Today I will explain 3 or 4 topics. What is Selenium? Next, history. History of the Selenium project. Selenium project. Next, Selenium components. Selenium components. This is official term. See, official site, website of Selenium, seleniumhq.org. In that seleniumhq.org documentation, you can find this term, Selenium components, or general term or public term, Selenium's tool, Selenium's tools suite. See, in this suite you can find 4 tools, and one more thing, in our training we will discuss important tool, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium RC outdated, Selenium IDE prototype tool. I will explain in one class. Next, in our syllabus Selenium Grid is not there, but 1 or 2 tools are enough for automating our applications. No need to learn all tools. Okay, anyhow, Selenium WebDriver is powerful tool and complete tool in this suite. Observe Preeti Joshi, tell me what are the 4 components of Selenium, or you can say 4 tools of Selenium suite.
Selenium IDE.
Selenium Integrated Development Environment, IDE. Next.
Selenium WebDriver.
Next, Selenium RC, sequence.
RC, yeah.
Remote control. Yeah. Now, nowadays it is outdated. Now, some companies using this RC for maintenance projects, not for new projects. Next, successor of Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver. Just a minute. Next, last one. Continue, Preeti. Okay, cool, Preeti. Vijaya, have any idea Vijaya karne? I think I.
Selenium Grid.
Selenium Grid, good.
Yes,
these are the 4 components of Selenium, or you can say Selenium's tool, Selenium suite of tools. Next, observe Jyotirmai. 4th one, environments supported by Selenium. Okay, environments supported by, put mute all of Selenium. Environments supported by Selenium. Next, Selenium, small topic, Selenium license. Next, advantages of Selenium. Next, disadvantages or drawbacks of Selenium. Next, disadvantage. Two frameworks, testing frameworks, testing frameworks, and other tools. Other tools used in Selenium. Used in Selenium. Just a minute. Next, UFT, Selenium versus UFT. UFT formerly QTP. Why I am comparing Selenium with UFT? Both are competitors in this area of testing, functional and regression testing. See, first write Selenium only. Selenium versus Unified Functional Testing, formerly QTP. Next, last topic in this chapter, important one, but in this chapter theoretical approach only, but in practical chapters I will show how to set up environment. Selenium environment setup. Okay. Now observe Smriti. This is our first chapter's index, theory chapter
Yes,
only.
sir.
Observe
Okay, sir.
any queries. Are you getting complete sense or any missing? This is
No, that's good, sir.
okay. Cool. All of you put mute. Pavani, try to follow. First time taking. Observe Vijay. Are you following Vijay?
Yes, sir.
I am covering maximum concepts, not only Selenium working point of view, also for interview point of view. This one. Uh, Facing interviews, one task, and surviving in job activities, another task. Facing interviews, sometimes simple task, but surviving lengthy time and important tasks, I will provide concepts or content for facing interviews as well as surviving in job responsibilities. Both, but surviving in job responsibilities is very important task. Come to first one. What is Selenium? What is Selenium? First chapter. Ours is interactive program. You need to contribute, but final conclusion I will provide, no issue. I think Vijaya, tell me something about Selenium.
Selenium is a automation testing.
Selenium is automation
It uses
testing. See your terms, your description confusing. Selenium is a automation testing, description confusing. Okay.
Selenium is a open source
Selenium
software.
is an open source software. That is correct sentence.
And
Try to provide. Pardon?
Selenium is mainly used for regression and functional testing.
Sequence missing. Regression secondary. First functional. Say functional and regression testing. Don't say regression testing and functional testing. That is not correct.
So functional and regression
Functional
testing.
first, regression secondary. Primary functional and regression testing. Next.
Selenium supports various operating systems.
Yes, Selenium supports various operating environments. Next.
Selenium supports various browsers.
Good. For conducting functional testing or test automation. Okay. Okay, cool, Vijaya. Pavani, any idea, Pavani? What is Selenium? I think Vijaya told some qualities of Selenium or some features of Selenium. Anything else, Pavani?
Yeah. Selenium is an automation tool
Okay.
to operate automate the web browser.
Okay.
That's it. I don't have too much
Okay.
idea in
Cool.
that.
Cool. Cool. Smriti, any idea? Vijaya and Pavani told some features of Selenium.
Yeah.
Any others? Otherwise, leave it.
So Mhm.
Otherwise, leave it. No problem. No issue.
Oh, okay, sir. I just know that it's an automation tool and it's used for functional regression testing.
Good. Good. Okay. All of you put mute. I will explain. First, I will list out topics, features one by one. Then I will explain. Observe. Observe, Vijay. What is Selenium? Say, Selenium is a uh, is an open source software. Okay, before that, Selenium is mainly used for functional and regression test automation. Selenium is mainly used for functional testing. Okay, functional and regression testing. See, this regression testing is not only in functional testing area. You can find regression testing in performance testing area also. That regression is different. Okay, you just observe this functional testing. It is functional test automation tool. Okay, Selenium is mainly used for functional and regression testing. It is not for manual testing. Test automation, or another term is automated testing. Good. Next, you take functional testing. Observe, Smriti, what is functional testing? It is. I am not going to discuss definitions. Just try to identify the word. Functional testing is a test type. Say we have 2 to 4 types of test types according to international standards. Functional testing, non-functional testing, for example, performance, usability, etc. Next, confirmation testing or regression testing. Next, structural testing. These are 4 types according to industry standards, international standards. But 2 important types, functional and non-functional. This functional testing having nearly 80% of market share. For every software application, functional testing is mandatory if it is manual testing or automation or both. But for non-functional testing, optional based on your test requirements you can follow. Anyhow, non-functional testing, performance testing, usability, next recovery testing, reliability testing, etc. Non-functional testing market share nearly 20%. Okay, primary is functional testing. Okay, final conclusion. Functional testing is a test type. Selenium is mainly used for functional and regression testing or test automation. Other tools in this category, say we are discussing Selenium, but we must familiar with other tools in this category. Can you tell me, Vijay, other tools in this category? Just other tools. Other
Sir,
tools in this
UFT,
category
sir.
means functional testing. Functional testing category. What are the other tools in the market?
Sir, UFT, sir.
UFT, good. UFT, formerly Quick Test Professional, QTP. That is also for functional and regression testing. But UFT is vendor tool. Vendor is HP. License is required in order to use and get technical support for UFT. But Selenium is open source, that I will explain in the next point. Okay, UFT. Next. Okay,
So
cool.
something called like rational robot,
Yes,
robot tools on
rational robot
which is a
retired, outdated. Now RFT, rational functional tester, rational robot, retired. It is also correct real-time term. In during software maintenance, we use the term rational robot, old tool, retired, and new tool launched RFT, rational functional tester. Okay, and one more thing, Vijay, observe all of you. Earlier, WinRunner tool was there in HP suite before QTP, before EFT. Vijay, now no WinRunner na. WinRunner also same functional and regression test tool, but now no WinRunner na.
UFT has taken over. It has
Not
upgraded to
UFT.
UFT now, sir.
WinRunner scrapped. Getting this point? Scrapped means they dropped that tool.
Outdated version.
Not
Okay.
outdated. Dropped that one. They scrapped that software. New tool with other environment. For example, WinRunner developed in C language, but QTP, same purpose, functional and regression testing. QTP was developed in .NET technology. Different. Purpose same, but different environment. See, observe in software maintenance. This is manual testing concept, but important one. Observe, scrapped. Some companies scrap their software year by year. Next, retired means retiring the old software and developing new software with the same features, sometimes same technology, sometimes different technology. Observe Jyotirmayi, QTP, scrapped or retired? Pavani, Jyotirmayi continue. Is QTP scrapped
QTP is
or
updated.
retired? People not getting. Preeti,
Retired, scrap. No, QTP is upgraded to UFT.
pardon?
QTP is upgraded to UFT.
Upgraded or not? Forget about that one. Is it scrapped or retired? Retired. Retired. Okay. Upgraded to EFT or some other name that is different. It is retired. Just retired. You can execute QTP scripts in EFT na. Suppose you have old QTP scripts. You can execute those scripts in EFT. Why? QTP just retired successor of QTP, that EFT. Next, WinRunner. Observe, Pavani. WinRunner scrapped. We cannot execute WinRunner script in other tool. Okay, leave it. Observe Preeti. Is it okay? Selenium is mainly used for functional and regression testing. Other tools in this category, important one, UFT, formerly QTP from HP. Next, RFT, Rational Functional Tester from IBM. Next, Silk Test from Micro Focus. Next, some other tools, Test Complete, Test Partner, etc. But nowadays, important tools in this category, Selenium and UFT. Okay, na? Shall we move to next topic, Vijaya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All of you put mute. Jyoti, after answering the question, you speaker, off the speaker, mute, headphone, mute. Okay, cool, Jyoti. Next, observe Vijay. Say selenium. Selenium is an open source software Selenium is an open source software to automate web browsers. Web browsers. Observe Vijay. Here in this sentence you can find two topics. One is open source software. Open source software. Another is automate web browsers. Say Selenium. Selenium is not a vendor tool. And one more thing, before this, I need to introduce one more point. Observe Preeti. Selenium is not a single tool like UFT, RFT, Silk Test, and others in this category. Selenium is not a single tool. It is a suite of tools. Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. But you no need to use all tools for any project. You can use one or two tools for your project. And one more thing, nowadays Selenium WebDriver is sufficient for automating projects. Okay? And one more thing, it is open source software, means source code available on net. Anybody can download with free of cost and use. Next, automate. Just a minute. Automate web browsers means Selenium supports web-based applications only. It can automate web browsers means web-based applications only. It doesn't support desktop applications. For example, UFT, formerly QTP. UFT can automate both desktop applications and web applications. Now, which one is powerful, UFT or Selenium? We can't say. Why? Say UFT having one advantage. UFT can automate desktop, means Windows based applications also apart from web based applications. But Selenium won't support desktop applications. But Selenium having other advantages. Selenium supports various operating environments, various programming languages for writing test scripts. But UFT supports only Windows operating environment and VB script, Visual Basic Scripting Edition, only for writing tests. Okay. Did you observe this point, Pavani? Selenium is an open source software and it automates web browsers only. Selenium is an open source software to automate web browsers. Is it okay? Or any queries? Preeti. Preeti.
Yes, sir.
Any queries?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay,
Thank
cool,
you.
cool. Observe. Selenium supports various Vijaya, I will explain topics. Whenever you want to ask any question, break the conversation and ask. Okay, na?
Okay,
Vijaya?
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, no
Okay,
issue.
sir.
Selenium supports various operating environments. Meantime, I will ask questions also. Various operating environments. Observe Vijay. Selenium supports famous operating systems or popular operating systems. Microsoft Windows. Next, Unix flavors like Linux, etc. Next, Macintosh, etc. But UFT, formerly QTP, supports MS Windows only. UFT doesn't support Linux and Mac OS operating environments. And one more thing, what is this operating environment support? Observe, Preeti, suppose our application under test, AUT, our AUT, real-time term, application under test, deployed on Windows. You can use Selenium for test automation. Suppose Linux, our application under test, our software application deployed on Linux operating environment. Yes, you can install or configure Selenium and use Selenium for functional testing. Suppose our AUT installed on Macintosh. Yes, you can use Selenium for test automation, functional test automation. For example, UFT, formerly QTP, our application deployed on MS Windows. You can use UFT. Suppose our application deployed on Linux, you cannot use UFT. Getting this point, Vijay? Operating environment support.
Could you please could you please repeat once again, sir? Because I understood that various operating environments and the differences of UFT and Selenium,
Yes,
sir.
say
Like you
simple one, Vijay. UFT, formerly QTP, supports Windows only. Suppose our application, software application, testing application installed on Windows, then you can use UFT. Selenium, it supports MS Windows, Linux, Macintosh, etc. Suppose our application on Windows, you can use Selenium. Linux, you can use Selenium. Mac, you can use Selenium. Then what is the problem? Vijay.
desktop means like you
Desktop
have
means
any
Windows based
application only in your,
desktop applications. Suppose if you are familiar with this one QTP, flight reservation application is there now, that is Windows based desktop application now.
okay,
Suppose Skype
okay,
is
okay,
there,
okay.
Skype software, that is desktop application now.
Mm-hmm.
Getting
Okay, sir.
Skype is
Means
desktop,
only within our application.
but Skype is hybrid application. It interacts with web also. For example, observe Notepad is there now. Notepad. What is Notepad?
Okay.
A web application
It
or
is just
desktop application?
desktop, sir.
Desktop. Why we are using from
Because
desktop? Suppose ICICIbank.com. Is it a desktop application or web application?
desktop web application,
Web
sir.
application. Why we use we launch that application using web browser? Then what is the problem?
Okay.
Windows based or desktop? Next web based.
Okay.
Then what is
No,
the problem?
understood, sir. No, clear, sir.
Okay, cool. See, whenever you ask any question, ask me. If it is silly question, also ask me. Observe, Preeti, Selenium supports various browsers, to create and execute tests, or you can say test cases. See, observe Pavani, terminology may vary from one environment to another. In UFT, formerly QTP, I have experience on UFT also. Earlier, I conducted nearly 100, more than 100 training programs on UFT, formerly QTP also. Okay. In UFT, formerly QTP, term is test or test script. Here, Selenium official term is test case like manual testing. But in UFT, no test case term, only test or test script. Here you can say test or test case or test script. Okay, test script. But official term is test case. Okay, na Pavani?
Okay.
See, observe, Selenium supports various browsers to create and execute test cases. Meaning, suppose Observe Vijaya, observe. Suppose I am using Mozilla Firefox browser. I can launch my application, web application, and create test cases and execute test cases using that Mozilla. Suppose other browser, Google Chrome, yes, you can use for creating and executing. Internet Explorer, nowadays Microsoft Edge, you can create. Safari, Opera, yes, it can support. And one more thing, Vijaya, suppose
Yes, sir.
here observe one thing. Test cases same. Test steps are common for any browser. Browser driver only varies from one browser to another. We can change that one or two statements for every test case. Browser driver only varies from one browser to another. Test steps in test cases are common. Getting this point? Test cases are not
Yes,
different
sir.
based on browsers. Getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In future classes, you can get more clarity. And one more thing, suppose if I create 100 test cases using Mozilla Firefox browser, if I want to execute these cases, these test cases using other browsers, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Safari, Opera, etc. Yes, I can execute. Just browser driver only varies from one browser to another. Test steps means test steps in test cases are common. Okay, na Pavani? Smriti, any problem?
I'm good, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
It supports all popular browsers. Mozilla Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, next Google Chrome, Google Chrome, next Internet Explorer. Nowadays, I think in Windows 10, they are using this term, Microsoft Edge. Okay, na Vijay?
Any reason to call it as edge, sir?
We cannot
Just
argue.
for the understanding purpose.
Standard.
No. I'm
We
understanding
cannot
purpose. I'm asking,
argue
sir.
that vendor changed that name.
Okay.
Latest version, they change
Okay.
that name frequently, but some features and enhancements are there. That's why they changed that name, and they didn't display also why we are changing that name like. And we are no bother about that names also.
Okay, sir.
Observe. See, forget about all these browsers. First three browsers, Smriti, first three browsers are important.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
More than 90% market share, first three browsers. Google Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, Internet Explorer, remaining Opera, Safari, etc. limited use. Next, observe Pavani. Selenium. Selenium supports various programming platforms. Supports various programming languages to write programs. Observe, I am writing programs, but observe Jyotirmayi, I'm Smriti, observe, I'm writing programs, but program is development term. In our scenario, programs means test scripts. Suppose if you follow Java, you can use Java syntax for writing test cases. If you follow Python, Python syntax for writing test cases, etc. But in our training program, we are going to use Java. Why Java? That I will explain in Java chapter. Nearly 77% Selenium testers using Java for Selenium. Remaining 5 languages limited use. Okay, why Java we will discuss later. Okay, observe, it supports Smriti, can you list out the supported programming language of Selenium? Suppose Java,
Um, yeah. Python.
Python. Next, .NET. In .NET technology, it supports C#.NET. .NET is suite of technologies. In the .NET, you can find C#, ASP, VB, etc. But
Okay.
it supports C#.NET, C#.NET, net-enabled technology. Next, Perl. Next, Ruby, and hypertext preprocessor, PHP. Okay. Say, whereas observe Vijay, whereas UFT, formerly QTP, supports Visual Basic Scripting Edition, VB script, only for writing tests or test scripts. But our Selenium supports various programming languages, Java, Python, C#.NET, Perl, Ruby, PHP, to write test scripts. But we no need to use all languages. You can use any one of these languages to write test scripts. Any problem, Vijaya? Any problem?
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay, now see various browsers, and here one small note I am going to provide. Note, observe Vijaya. Selenium, we are saying Selenium supports various programming languages. Okay, but not all tools. Selenium IDE limitation supports, doesn't support any programming to write test cases. It doesn't support any programming to write test cases. Okay, na Smriti, getting this
So,
point?
no, I didn't get this, sir.
Selenium ID, one of the tool is there na in the Selenium tool, Selenium
Yeah.
suite.
So, yeah, that's
In,
right.
limitation for this one, it doesn't support programming, only record and playback. But Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver support. But Selenium RC nowadays outdated. With same feature, Selenium WebDriver was launched. Selenium WebDriver supports all these, but Selenium ID
Okay.
doesn't support. Getting this point?
Okay.
Any
Yeah,
confusion?
got it, sir. No, I'm good now.
And one
Yeah.
more thing, Selenium Grid is there na.
Yeah.
This is some different tool. First three tools for uh, creating and executing test cases. Last tool
Okay.
only for executing test cases. Anyhow, that I will explain in Selenium Grid topic. Here you can ask, suppose Selenium ID, RC and WebDriver are used to create and execute test cases, then why Selenium Grid for executing test cases? See,
Yeah.
using Selenium Grid, you can execute Selenium RC or WebDriver, not IDE. Selenium RC or WebDriver test cases in parallel. Parallel testing is possible using Selenium Grid. If it is Selenium WebDriver or RC, one by one only, here parallel execution possible. Okay, na?
Yeah, yes.
Observe Vijaya, any confusion? Vijaya.
No, sir.
This
No,
is
sir,
about
I'm good.
Vijay from Bangalore. Any queries, Vijay? This is about what is Selenium. Here we discussed 5 topics. Tell me what are the 5 topics one by one, just headlines.
Sir, like what is Selenium?
What is Selenium?
And
Okay. In that what is Selenium, we discussed 5 topics, subtopics, I think.
Sir, Selenium, so Selenium is an open source and
Okay,
test
Selenium is
automation
mainly used for functional and regression testing.
and regression
Selenium,
testing.
second point,
And
Selenium is an open source software to automate web browsers. Third one,
web browser. Selenium can be used for operating various web browsers
not
and
operating, not operating. Selenium supports various browsers to create and execute tests.
test. Okay, sir. Create and
Okay.
execute test.
Suppose if you want to use Mozilla Firefox, suppose your application is bankofamerica.com. Launch Mozilla Firefox browser, navigate to bankofamerica.com and conduct test, write test cases and execute. Suppose Google Chrome, launch the application and write and execute test cases like that. Not operating browsers. Say Selenium supports various browsers uh, to create and execute test cases. Okay, next.
Sir, Selenium supports for web browser where it does not support for desktop application.
Okay.
Like and it
That
also
we
supports
covered in
various
second
operating
point. Selenium is an
various.
open source software to automate web browsers. Means that is subtopic. Means it supports only web-based applications, not desktop applications. Next, fourth one.
Sir, Selenium supports for various operating systems
Yes,
like
Selenium
MS
supports
Windows,
various operating
Linux.
systems to conduct functional testing. For example, MS Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. Whereas UFT formerly QTP supports Windows operating environment only. UFT doesn't support, for example, Linux, Macintosh, etc. environments. Next, last one.
Sir, we have other tools also like Selenium, sir. So which we are not used more oftenly where we use Selenium.
No.
Most
You are
recommended
forgetting
one.
fifth main topic is Selenium supports various programming languages to write test scripts or to write programs. Java,
Okay, sir.
Perl, Python, C Sharp.NET, Ruby, and PHP. Whereas UFT formerly QTP supports Visual Basic
VB script.
Scripting Edition, or you can say mass term VB script only. Okay, now any confusion?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Welcome. Pavani, shall we move to next topic or any queries?
No, sir.
Okay, cool. Observe next small point. Observe Preeti. Small point Preeti. History of the Selenium project. Just intro point of view. It's not for project surviving. Means job responsibilities. Only for interview point of view. Idea. Observe Preeti. Selenium. Just I will mention important years. Selenium was launched. Selenium was launched in 2000, 2004. Next, Selenium important years. Important years. When Selenium WebDriver launched, that is latest one. When it was launched, Preeti?
It is 2006.
Good. In 2006, Selenium, observe, WebDriver, single word. Selenium WebDriver was launched at Google. It is open source only. Next, in 2008, in the year 2008, the whole Selenium team, the whole Selenium team decided to merge Selenium WebDriver WebDriver with Selenium RC remote control in order to form a powerful tool called Selenium 2. Now observe Jyotirmayi, initial Selenium 1.0. In this suite version, we have three tools. Selenium integrated development environment plus only understanding purpose. Selenium remote control RC plus Selenium WebDriver. Selenium grid. Next, and observe Jyotirmayi,
Yes, sir. Observing.
Selenium
Yes.
1 plus Selenium WebDriver equals to Selenium 2. Getting this point?
Yes.
In this Selenium 2, you can find four tools. Here, Selenium WebDriver. Observe Preeti. We already discussed Preeti. Successor of Selenium RC is Selenium WebDriver. Nowadays, Selenium RC outdated. Why they carried this RC in Selenium 2 means only for maintenance projects. Suppose some projects using Selenium RC previously, only for those maintenance projects, they carried Selenium RC in Selenium 2. But new projects used only Selenium WebDriver. Okay, na, Preeti?
Yes, sir. So it means now if they want to manage the project, so they are doing in Selenium
Selenium RC.
WebDriver, right?
Okay. Selenium RC, that's why only for management for old projects, not new projects. New projects, most of the 99% new projects, Selenium WebDriver only. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
Observe latest this one. Observe Jyotirmayi Vijay Selenium 3. I think October. Okay, months not stable. Okay, 2016 year. Selenium 3. Observe Vijay, in the Selenium 3, no new tools or new components introduced. I think they removed Selenium RC. Now Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. Then what is the advantage of Selenium 3? Okay, that we will discuss later. And one more thing, observe Preeti, Selenium 3 supports new technologies. It has, see, observe, you take any new version of software, you can find two things. One is feature enhancements, another is product enhancement. Feature enhancements means, suppose in our software 100 features are there, addition, deletion, subtraction, some other 100 features are there. Suppose if we add 10 new features and release new version with 110 features, that is feature enhancements. Suppose product enhancements. Suppose our technology supports only old versions of browsers, suppose up to Windows 7, suppose our new version implemented for supporting new technologies, Windows 10, suppose in future Windows 11, etc. Example, that is product enhancements. Product enhancement. Getting this point, Vijay? Features enhancement and product enhancement. But in Selenium 3, most of the enhancements are product enhancements only to support new technologies. Some, I think, limited uh, feature enhancements also there that we will discuss later. And one example, observe Preeti, in Selenium 2, default browser is Mozilla. For Mozilla, you no need to instantiate the browser. But in Selenium 3, no default browser. For Mozilla Firefox, also you need to instantiate the browser. And one more thing, observe Vijay, the Selenium 3 is not the stable version. And one more thing, 99% features are common. Now stable version is Selenium 2. In Selenium 2 also, latest one, 2. Selenium 2.53 WebDriver something, that is stable. Selenium 3 still getting some errors. Okay, after some time it may stable. Okay, na Vijay, getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Observe Jyotirmai. This is a brief introduction about history of the Selenium project. Any queries, Jyotirmai?
No, sir, I am good.
Okay, cool. Pavani Yogendranath. Any queries?
No, sir.
Okay, cool. Smriti. All of you put mute. Jyoti and Preeti. Smriti.
Yes, sir.
Smriti, any queries? Okay. Vijaya.
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Preeti, any queries regarding
Yes.
these two topics? What is Selenium
Yes.
and history of the Selenium project?
Yeah. If in interview, if they will ask what kind of Selenium you are using, so what kind of can we say the Selenium 2.0?
Not 2.0. In 2.0 also so many subversions are there. You can say that I will explain later. Okay, anyhow, good question. That you can say we are using Selenium 2.53 WebDriver Java language bindings and this one Mozilla Firefox 4.7 version or Core some version. You can explain. For example, in our current project also as a test lead, I am preferring as per management strategy as well as customer interest. We are using Selenium 2.53 WebDriver. Why? Selenium 3 came in 2006 ending, but still some bugs. Selenium also software, it has some bugs, still some bugs to fix. We are expecting after 3 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months, it will get stabled. Any problem, Preeti?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome. All of you put mute, including Smriti. Okay. Today I will explain one more topic, important one. Observe Vijay, Selenium components. Tomorrow we will discuss remaining. Okay. Third one, important. This is also brief introduction. Anyhow, in practical chapters we will discuss each and everything in detailed manner. Observe Vijay, Selenium components are Selenium's tools suite. But as per that official documentation, Selenium documentation, they are using Selenium components, Selenium integrated development environment, Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Now, this Selenium RC outdated, you can remove. Observe Preeti Joshi. This Selenium RC in 3 also they removed that implementation na.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now observe Pavani. I will explain remaining 3. Before going to discuss, can you tell me, Pavani, what is the official website of Selenium? From there, we can download and install Selenium software, and we can get a Selenium documentation also from that site. What is the official site of Selenium, Pavani? You must remember that one. Pavani not responding. Jyotirmai.
Selenium. Selenium.com.
Pardon?
No,
Pardon?
no idea, sir.
No idea. In this, you can watch record session after the class. In this session also, I told that I mentioned that site. Vijay, what is the official site of Selenium?
No, sir, I
Selenium.
not looked into
In
it.
this chapter also, I told Selenium hq.org. This is official site. From this site, you can download and install Selenium software and technical documentation also. Okay. And one more thing, Jyotirmai, you no need to
Yes, sir.
remember UFT official site, RFT official site, etc. Why? UFT is vendor tool. Vendor is
Yes.
HP. From UFT tool
Yes.
help menu, you can directly connect to vendor's website. But Selenium
Yes.
is not vendor tool. It is open source. But
Open.
one third party forum group of developers or team of developers providing free service. So you must know that site name, site address. Getting?
Okay, sir.
Okay, cool. All of you put mute. Observe. I will provide brief description. Anyhow, in practical chapters, we will get practical concepts also. You can get more clarity. Selenium, observe. Preeti, contribute Preeti. Selenium IDE, integrated development
Environment.
environment. Any idea, Preeti, what is integrated development environment? General topic.
It is recording and playback.
Say, observe, Preeti, UFT is there na? UFT
Yes,
also
sir.
having IDE, integrated development environment. Suppose if you want to create tests in UFT, you can use tool features like record and playback. Next, if you want to insert verification points, checkpoints, and other features also there. For creating tests, UFT has some tool features: record, object repository, step generator, checkpoints, etc. Otherwise, if you want to use programming features, suppose instead of checkpoints, you can use VB script conditional statements for writing, for inserting verification points. Next, instead of this one, some test methods, you can use VB script functions. But most of the testers using both. Some script features means programming features, some tool features. But here in our Selenium WebDriver, no tool features. For each and everything, we need to write the code. That is different case. But Selenium IDE having IDE. Integrated development environment. Observe Preeti. Means
Yes,
tool
sir.
has features in order to create and execute tests. Getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Observe Vijay. C language is there na?
Sir.
General example Vijay. C language.
Yes, sir.
C sharp dot
It's a
net
programming language.
programming language. C sharp dot net also there. That is also programming language. But what is the difference? C language is general programming language for each and every uh, aspect you need to write the code. Suppose you want to you want to create a home page, then some edit boxes, buttons. Next, if you click so and so link, then functionality. For each and everything, you need to write the code in C language. If it is .NET, C sharp .NET example, you no need to write the code for each and every aspect. Suppose you want aid box, tools are there. You can drag and drop aid box, and you can resize the aid box, and you can rename the aid box. Suppose functionality, for internal functionality, you can write the code. But in C language, no such facility. But which one is powerful? C language or C sharp .NET? We can't say, but C language is powerful. Why?
Because
Say
you
using
write program
programming
for
code,
each
you
child.
can do anything. Suppose enter username, enter password, then click OK button. After entering username and password, next immediately your home page will be displayed. That is our functionality. Observe Vijay. After entering username, password, click on OK button. Then your home page will be displayed. You can write same code. You can develop the functionality using C sharp .NET, otherwise C language also. Then what is the advantage of C, or what is the capacity of C? See, uh, .NET ready-made environment. Ready-made environments may have some limitations, but C doesn't have any limitation. For example, after observe Preeti, after entering username and password, click OK button. After that, I want some waterfalls. After welcome waterfalls, then your home page. Yes, you can write code in C language. But if it is .NET, using available that user interface design tools only you can design. But in C language, no limitations. But welcome screens are unnecessary. Example, getting this point, Preeti?
Yes, sir.
And one more thing, Preeti, IDE advantage also there. Easy na. Suppose if you have record and playback, that is easy to create tests. Okay, you use or don't use not only Selenium. IDE provides easy to use interface, but programming interface, no features. Only you can write. You have to write code on. You have to write code for every aspect. Getting this point, Vijay, IDE,
Yes, sir.
C language has IDE or not? C language
Yes, sir. It has.
has IDE. C language has IDE. Concentrate, Vijay.
Means we write program. No, sir. We
Concentrate.
write program in that. No, sir.
Concentrate. IDE, not
Okay.
writing program. Can you tell me, Smriti, is C language having IDE or not? Pavani, Smriti, continue.
Yes, sir.
Is C language having IDE, integrated development environment or not? General question.
No, sir. No. It won't support.
No, not support. No, it doesn't have. Only
It
editor.
doesn't have.
Only editor for writing code. Pavani, getting this point?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Vijay, how you are saying C language having IDE? It doesn't have IDE.
No,
No tools in this
Okay,
C
sir. No
language, na?
discuss. Sir.
If you want
We
to
only
design
write program editing for that.
if you want to design a screen, suppose some 10 buttons, 4 links, you need to write the code. Suppose if you
Correct,
click
sir.
a link, it redirects to another page. Functionality, you need to write the code. Suppose if it is .NET, suppose VB.NET or C#.NET, for each and everything you no need to write the code. Internal tools available. Suppose you drag and drop buttons, links. For internal functionality only, you can write the code. Getting this point?
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
See,
Got it.
IDE has one advantage, easy to use interface, but one drawback also. Here, ready-made environments may have limitations. Programming interface doesn't have any limitation. Getting this point, Jyotirmai? Selenium WebDriver doesn't have IDE, only programming interface, but no problem. You can do everything. Why? You can write code. But in Selenium IDE, it doesn't have programming interface. Only IDE, using tool features only you can generate tests. Okay, you can type tests,
Yes.
but no programming support, no conditional loop statements, etc. But what about
Yes.
EFT? Observe Vijaya Karne. What about EFT? EFT has both IDE as well as programming interface,
Yes, sir.
VB
Yes.
script.
Yes, sir.
You can use
Yes, sir.
either EFT tool features or VB script features for creating tests. Otherwise, both some tool features and some script features in your tests. But Selenium WebDriver doesn't have IDE, only programming interface. Then which one is powerful? EFT, formerly QTP, or WebDriver? You cannot
WebDriver, sir.
say. Say EFT has easy to use interface as well as programming interface. But Selenium
Yes, sir.
WebDriver doesn't have IDE, but no issue. But for each and everything you need to, you can write the code in Selenium WebDriver. It may take some time. It may take
Yes,
time,
sir.
efforts, but you can achieve everything using Selenium WebDriver. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Observe. Now contribute Preeti Joshi. Selenium IDE. In this one, first I am going to explain important features. Next, disadvantages. 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 Guide me, Preeti. First, features, Preeti. Tell me one or two features. If it is
Create
useful,
test cases.
pardon?
Create test cases.
Okay. See, first I will explain quality also. Quality of this one. Is it drawback or something? Quality only. It is a Firefox browser. Observe carefully. Firefox browser plugin. It is a Firefox browser plugin and prototype tool. Prototype tool. Observe this point, Preeti. It is a Firefox browser plugin. Means it is not an independent tool. First launch Firefox browser, then download Selenium IDE and install on Firefox. Without Firefox browser, you cannot use this tool. Meaning, final conclusion, it doesn't support remaining browsers, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Safari, Opera, etc. And prototype tool means it is only for simple test case design, not for complex test case design. Why? It doesn't support programming. That's why. Okay, now this feature, Preeti, any confusion?
No, sir.
Next, one more quality. First one, quality or drawback, forget about it. That is feature of Selenium only. Selenium IDE only. It is used to create and execute test cases using Mozilla Firefox browser. Observe Vijay from Bangalore. It is used to create and execute test cases using Mozilla Firefox browser. Here you can observe 2 points, Vijay. One is we can create and execute test cases using Selenium IDE and only on Mozilla Firefox browser, not in other browsers. Getting?
Yes, sir.
And one more thing, observe Jyotirmayi. Here, creating test cases. Here you can follow 2 ways. One is record test steps, or type test steps. If you know the syntax, anyhow that I will explain in practical chapter. Type test steps using Selenium. All of you put mute. Selenium. It is not dictionary word. All of you put mute. Somebody system making noise. Selenium commands. Just a minute. Using element means object. What is element locator? I will explain later. Element locators and Selenium commands means Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE commands are called as Selenium commands. Observe this point, Vijaya. Did you understand this
Yes,
point,
sir.
Vijaya? We can create and execute test cases using Selenium IDE. You can use either recording feature for creating test cases, or you can type test
Right.
steps if you know the syntax using
Yes,
element
sir.
locators and
And Selenium commands.
Commands. Selenium, it is not dictionary word. If you type this Selenium in MS Word, it will show error, but it is corrected term in Selenium IDE, or you can say Selenium IDE commands. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Next, Preeti Joshi, contribute any others. It is used to create and execute test cases. Next, one facility. User can observe, Vijay. User can edit test steps. Means user can add steps to recorded. Next, update existing steps. Next, delete existing steps. Okay na, Vijay? Any queries?
No, sir. As of now, okay, sir.
Okay. Next, contribute Preeti. Anything else? User can edit test scripts. And one more thing, using Selenium IDE, we can create test cases and form, means create test batches. Batches means test suites, or you can say test set, etc. Contribute Preeti. Any other?
Export test cases to other formats.
Okay. Exporting feature also there. Say observe. Uh, we can user can export Selenium IDE. User can export, just a minute. User can export Selenium IDE test cases to other formats, other supported formats, other supported, not all, other supported formats, example Java, Ruby, etc. Observe Vijay, suppose Selenium IDE test case default format is, observe, note, Selenium IDE test case default format is, or you can say real time word, native format. Tell me, Preeti, what is the native format of Selenium IDE?
.html.
HTML. Observe, Vijay, default format is HTML, but you can export tests, feature available in Selenium IDE in file menu. You can export to other supported formats, Java, Ruby, etc. Suppose export to Java format example and open that Java formatted test case in Selenium WebDriver with Java. Then you can execute or modify that one. Feature is there, Vijay, but nowadays only for interview point of view, this feature is there but not working properly. I think almost all it is dead feature. Instead of exporting these cases, you can directly create test cases in Selenium WebDriver. This feature is showing so many errors, and that Selenium team, developers team also not concentrated on this one. Anyhow, it is side feature, it is not core feature. Getting this point, Vijay?
Yes, sir.
Contribute Preeti Joshi. Any other? Selenium IDE. Say,
Debugging, sir.
user can debug step-by-step execution. What is debugging? I will show in practical classes. User can debug test cases and insert comments in test cases. Next, this is general point. User can configure Selenium IDE. These are important. Observe, Pavani, user can debug test case. What is debugging? I will explain practical chapter. By step-by-step execution, we can conduct debugging test cases. Otherwise, if you execute the test case, it will execute the test case at a time. At a time execution means step-by-step only, but continuous execution. Even though it doesn't support, observe, Vijaya, even though it doesn't support programming, but we can insert or add comments to your test cases. That feature is available in Selenium IDE. These are the important features of Selenium IDE. Okay, na Vijaya, any confusion?
No, sir, I'm good.
Vijay, Jyotirmai, any queries? Ask me, Vijay, Jyotirmai, Pavani,
Yes,
Preeti.
yes, sir.
Okay, all of you put mute. Okay, observe. Next, contribute, Preeti. Okay, these are the important features. Anyhow, in Selenium IDE practical chapter, I will show how to install Selenium IDE, and how to create test cases and execute, etc. Next, disadvantages. Guide me, Preeti. Drawbacks of Selenium IDE, not entire suite.
It supports Firefox only?
Yes, that is the important drawback. It supports Mozilla Firefox browser only to creating anyhow element locators. Selenium IDE commands are common for all browsers, so creating is not the factor in this scenario. It supports Mozilla Firefox browser only to execute. Execute means run or execute, both are synonyms. Test cases. Okay na, Preeti?
Yes, sir.
Next, it supports Firefox browser only means it doesn't support other browsers. For example, Selenium WebDriver, other tool in this suite, supports various browsers. Next, observe, it doesn't support programming uh, to enhance test cases. Observe, Smriti, what is enhancing test cases? Say generating plain navigation, then enhancing test cases. Enhancing test cases means inserting verification points, adding comments, error handling if required, parameterization if required, synchronization if required. What is parameterization? What is synchronization? That I will explain later. Say inserting, enhancing test cases means brief description, inserting verification points, error handling, parameterization, synchronization if required, then exception handling with respect to test requirements. And one more thing, Selenium IDE doesn't support any programming language or programming platform to enhance test cases. Using Selenium commands only you can enhance test cases. That's why limited. So it is prototype to see here based on this drawback. So observe, Preeti. So it is not suitable. It is not suitable for complex test case design. Only for simple test cases. Okay na, Preeti Joshi? Any confusion, Preeti Joshi?
No, sir, I'm good.
Continue. And one more thing, it doesn't support parameterization. Here observe, Vijay from Bangalore. Say, I have manual testing experience, UFT experience, load runner, next Selenium also. Sometimes I will explain general topics also when situation demands. You can get more awareness using our program. It will helpful for facing interviews as well as surviving in job responsibilities. Earlier I conducted international standard training programs also, ISTQB certification program, CST certification program, etc. Okay, forget about it. Here observe parameterization. It is global term. Passing parameters, variables or arguments, etc. Passing parameters instead of constant values is called parameterization. Anyhow, in data driven chapter I will explain. See, observe, Preeti, data driven testing is one more concept is there, but parameterization, data driven testing, some are saying both are same, not same, different.
Data driven is a
Parameterization
part
is
of
global feature, data driven testing is local feature. What is the relation in between parameterization and data driven testing? We use
parameterization is
parameterization
fixed
feature
value
in
kind of thing.
data driven testing, but parameterization means passing single value or multiple values based on your requirement. But data driven testing means passing multiple values only. Passing single value meaningless. Getting this point, Vijay?
So data driven is a part of parameterization, where in data driven we are
No, no,
passing
not,
multiple values.
you cannot
Like if
segregate like that. Anyhow, entire different. Parameterization is programming feature, global feature. You can find
correct.
parameterization concept in all programming languages and scripting languages. Data driven testing is only in test automation. So, relation is we use parameterization feature in parameterization chapter. In data driven testing chapter, you can get more clarity. Just observe. We use parameterization feature in data driven testing. That is relation. Difference is there. What is the difference? Data driven testing means passing multiple values only. Parameterization means not only passing the multiple values, also passing single value. But single value passing, meaningless of data driven testing. Getting this point or any confusion?
No, no, sir.
And one more thing, observe Vijay, why we pass single value, otherwise you can type directly. Now, suppose user ID is there, user ID Vijay. Otherwise, I am taking one variable, user ID, some XYZ. While execution, while creating test case or while executing time, I will use instead of XYZ Vijay. That is parameter. Uh, why we pass single value for um, that fixed values? Observe Preeti, why we pass single values? Observe in
Can you do
computer
any repetition
programming we
work, sir?
use functions or methods. Suppose if it is C language, we use user defined functions. Suppose if it is Java, oops, object oriented programming language, methods, user defined methods also there. Observe Vijay, suppose I have an user defined method called login. For that I need to use single values only, but every time dynamic values. That time you can use parameters. Suppose in this login user defined method, two input data, two values. One is user ID, another is password. I want to use single values only, but every time dynamic. Suppose I am calling this login method from 4 or 5 test cases. For first test case, I want to use user ID 1, password 1. Second test case, user ID 2, password 2. Otherwise you can use same for suppose according to my requirements, for third test case user id 3 password 3, that is parameterization. You can use single dynamic value. Otherwise, suppose in fifth test I want to use 10 user ids and passwords in order to conduct data driven testing. Yes, you can pass multiple values. Getting this point, Vijay? Sometimes we pass single values also na.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you call reusable components, nothing but methods in Java, functions in C language, functions in VB script, then we use this parameterization feature. Any queries, Pavani?
No, sir.
Okay, cool. Contribute Preeti Joshi. Preeti Joshi. Preeti. Any other?
Yes.
It is not suitable for complex test case design.
Test case.
It doesn't support
Test
parameterization. Any other?
No centralized maintenance.
Yes. No centralized. No centralized maintenance of elements. You can say objects. I already told terminology may vary from one environment to another. Vijaya. For example, we use element term in Selenium, object in UFT, formerly QTP. Suppose edit box, we call as element in Selenium. Link, element, link element. Button. Next in UFT, object. Suppose page object, edit box object, link object. Both are synonyms. Here no centralized maintenance of elements, Pavani. If you take EFT, suppose if you have knowledge on EFT, you can easily compare this one. Otherwise, I will explain. Observe. Observe Vijay. In EFT, formerly QTP, object repository concept is there. There are two types of repositories, local repositories and shared repositories. If you create shared repositories, those can be associated with multiple tests. Centralized maintenance of, you will have centralized maintenance of objects. But in here in Selenium IDE, no centralized maintenance of elements. For each and every test case, you need to modify element details if required. Otherwise, no centralized maintenance. Getting this point, Vijay, or any confusion?
Sir, got it, sir. Like where we can use the same objects. If you use in shared, we can use for different test
Yes,
cases.
suppose
But if we,
observe Vijay, one small example, one button is there, button is called ABCD. If I use that button in 10 tests in EFT, I can create shared object repository, create one time and associate with 10 test cases or tests. Suppose after some time or fourth software release or fifth build, developers changed ABCD name to XYZ, or developer changed that UI design. Example, for that you just open that shared object repository, perform changes that can be automatically reflected with all associated tests. Centralized maintenance. Here not like that. Suppose in Selenium IDE, I used ABCD button in 3 test cases. Suppose ABCD button name or some properties information changed sometime. Then you need to open 3 test cases and modify or re-record that one. So no centralized maintenance. Any problem or getting? Hello?
no, sir. No, sir, got it, sir.
Okay, cool. Smriti, any confusion, Smriti? Centralized maintenance?
No, sir, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Welcome. Preeti, continue. Preeti Joshi. I think these are the major drawbacks of Selenium IDE, Preeti. And one more thing, Preeti, some drawbacks are there. Those are common drawbacks. Here I discussed Vijaya, only Selenium IDE specific drawbacks. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Some common drawbacks are there. See, these drawbacks are not for Selenium WebDriver, another tool in this suite. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Another tool in this suite. But suppose some drawbacks are common drawbacks, Preeti Joshi. For example, no reliable technical support. That I will explain in another topic. Advantage of Selenium, disadvantage of Selenium. 2 more topics are there. Observe Preeti. For example, since it is open source tool, no vendor so that we can't get reliable technical support from anybody. Okay na? Next, it supports only web browsers, so it is not used for automating desktop applications. Those are common suit Selenium suit drawbacks, Preeti. But here I mentioned only Selenium IDE drawbacks or disadvantages. Okay na, Preeti, or any confusion, Preeti?
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay,
Thanks.
come to one more thing. 15 minutes time is there. We'll continue remaining topics, including this Selenium WebDriver also. We will discuss tomorrow. Okay. Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver. Observe, Preeti. Here also same features. Next, disadvantages. Preeti, in this disadvantages topic also, we will discuss only Selenium WebDriver specific drawbacks. But common drawbacks are there, I told. No reliable technical support from anybody since it is open source. That is suited drawback, not only for Selenium WebDriver, also for Selenium IDE, Selenium Grid, etc. Okay na?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me features. Observe, Vijay. First of all, Selenium
programming into
WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is a powerful tool. Some are saying it is not tool, it is automation framework like. But as per official documentation from seleniumhq.org, you can get a suite of tools term. So you can call Selenium is tool, tested tool. Selenium WebDriver is a powerful tool in this suite, in this suite of tools. What are the suite of tools? Selenium suite. Selenium. Observe, Vijay. Next, Selenium. Just a minute. Selenium WebDriver. Single word Pavani. You try to use D capital. Officially, they are using like that. WebDriver. It is not dictionary word. If you type this word in, if you check, if you use spell check, or if you type this word in MS Word like document, it will show red marking, spell mistake, but it is not spell mistake. WebDriver is correct term. Vendors are not vendors. Selenium official site using that WebDriver word is single word, so don't use space in between web and driver, and try to use Preeti D as capital letter. Selenium WebDriver doesn't have IDE. Observe, Vijay, this concept. But having programming interface only. Programming interface only means for each and everything you need to write the code. Suppose if no IDE means no record and playback, Preeti Joshi, no tool features. For each and everything you need to write the code, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And one more thing I forgot, Preeti, here also it doesn't generate, it is for entire suite also, but specific also. It doesn't generate detailed test reports, but generates test summary only, pass or fail, like summary only. Now come Preeti Joshi. Preeti Joshi not required. Vijay, Selenium WebDriver doesn't have IDE, means no tool features, record or playback. We can use Eclipse IDE support for playback. That is different. Selenium WebDriver doesn't have tool features, means no IDE, but having programming interface, you can write code. Getting this point, Vijay.
Sir. Means only we can write program in that
Yes.
where we cannot.
For each and everything,
initial,
you need to write the code. Suppose recognize object, write the code. Perform operation on that object, write the code. Suppose I want to click on Gmail link in Google homepage. First recognize that link, Gmail link in Google homepage, then perform click operation on that Google homepage, on Gmail link in Google homepage. For each and everything, you need to write the code. Suppose if it is Selenium ID, just record that navigation, launch Mozilla Firefox browser, navigate to Google homepage, click on Gmail link, stop recording, then it will generate those statements. You can play back that script. But in Selenium WebDriver, you need to write the code for recognizing elements as well as performing operation on that elements. Getting?
Sir, sir. So here again it supports all the languages, other languages. No, sir,
that point I will explain later. Forget about other languages. If you take any language, this concept is same now. You take any language, correct, no tool feature first of all.
Correct. Okay, sir. Correct.
Suppose if you want to perform any task, if it is Java language, write Java code. If it is Python language, write Python code. Ruby language, write Ruby code. But suppose for Python, recording feature available, for Java, no recording feature, not like that. You take any language, you need to write the code for every aspect. No integrated development environment like tool features, menus, tool menus, and menu items, etc. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Observe. Selenium IDE, one small case study. Observe Pavani. Selenium WebDriver. Next, UFT, formerly Fit Test Professional. Okay. Observe Pavani. Selenium IDE has integrated development environment, but no programming interface. Next, Selenium WebDriver has programming interface, but no IDE. Observe Pavani. EFT has IDE as well as programming interface. Observe these three. Pavani, getting the point? Any confusion?
No, sir.
Observe Vijay, if it is UFT formerly QTP, you will have IDE, suppose tool menus and programming. You can use VB script. For example, I want to create a test in UFT. For that, recording feature is there, that is IDE feature. I can use recording feature, or if I know the syntax, I can write I can type test script. Next, I want to insert verification point with respect to my test requirement. For that, EFT, formerly QTP checkpoints are there. Standard checkpoint, database checkpoint, page checkpoint, 11 checkpoints are there. I can use any one checkpoint, suitable checkpoint. Otherwise, instead of inserting checkpoint, I can use VB script conditional statements, if condition, etc. Otherwise, in my test, I can use both for some steps, tool features, for remaining steps, script features. It has IDE as well as programming interface. But when it comes to Selenium IDE, use IDE and verification commands and Selenium commands available. You can type test script if you know the syntax. When it comes to Selenium WebDriver, no IDE, only programming interface, only editor for writing the code and execute. Say for each and everything you need to write the code. Here again same conclusion. Which one is powerful? Forget about eliminate Selenium IDE. Anyhow, it doesn't have programming interface. So limited use or no use. We cannot write complex test cases. Now compare Selenium WebDriver. In our training program also our main focus on Selenium WebDriver is powerful tool. Next, compare Selenium WebDriver and UFT. Which one is powerful? UFT has IDE as well as programming in this scenario. Next, Selenium WebDriver only having programming interface. Which one is powerful? We can't say. Why? Okay.
Both has its advantages.
UFT may have IDE as well as programming interface to create and execute test cases, tests or test scripts, but you can achieve everything, each and every test operation in Selenium WebDriver by writing code. Okay, it may take some time than UFT and efforts, but you can achieve each and everything. And you can ask one question. Okay, you can achieve everything in Selenium WebDriver as like UFT, but UFT having IDE, easy to use interface as well as programming. So UFT is better now. No, we can't say. Why? Say, one small drawback of Selenium WebDriver, it doesn't have IDE for each and everything. We need to write the code, but we can achieve everything. Okay, what about time and effort? Okay, time and efforts required, but advantages also there. Observe Vijay, if you use UFT, one is expensive. Selenium WebDriver open source. Okay, forget about that one. That is business aspect. Another one, technical aspects. Suppose I want to use Linux environment. Suppose our application in Linux. Selenium Selenium WebDriver you can use, but UFT doesn't support Linux. Suppose I want to use Mac. Selenium WebDriver supports Mac, but UFT doesn't support Macintosh. So Selenium WebDriver having so many advantages over UFT, but writing test cases some difficult than UFT. It takes time and efforts. Okay, but you can achieve. Suppose if there is no possibility, then you can think about it. Possibility is there, then efforts required. Put efforts. Okay, na, what is our Vijay? Any conclusion? Any confusion?
Sir, means in programming we should know more concepts, and technically we should be more strong in programming to write a Selenium WebDriver.
Yes, yes.
But in UFT, you can have.
When it compares to UFT, no problem, no worry. Vijay, I will teach Java from scratch. From scratch. Okay, na? You no need to worry. But your question is, or your conclusion is correct. More programming knowledge required for Selenium WebDriver than UFT. Why? If it is UFT, tool features support also there, but in Selenium WebDriver, no tool feature support. For each and everything, you need to write the code. That's why programming knowledge required. And one more thing, Vijay, you don't fear about that programming. Actually, okay, this is not part of the training. Actually, first I worked as a COBOL developer. Basically, I'm a developer in 2000, in between 2000 and 2003. 2004 onwards, shifted to software testing. Okay, as a developer, I learned VB script, C language, and Java easily, and shifted to automation also. But you can easily learn computer programming, Vijay. I will guide you, I will assure you. And one more thing, Vijay, you take computer environment, go to anywhere, programming is there. Except for manual testing, for remaining everything, programming is required. Observe Pavani, you take software development, that is programming core activity. Suppose you take database technologies, Pavani, suppose Oracle, etc., MS SQL Server, etc. Suppose in Oracle, Vijaya Karne, in Oracle, PLSQL is there na? Procedure
Yes,
language
sir.
and structured query language. PLSQL.
Mhm.
In that PLSQL, generally database developers use conditional statements, loop statements, procedures that come under
Yes, sir.
programming or not.
Yes, sir. Programming.
In database technology also programming is there na.
Yes, sir.
In software development, that is core responsibility of programming. Okay, if it is Java development or C sharp, anything, core is programming only. For software development, it is uh, important one and core activity of programming. Next, second one, take database technology. In database technologies also, database developer use programming concepts. Okay, syntax may vary from one language to another, and some features may vary from one language to another, but purpose same. For example, in Oracle, PLSQL, procedure language time, that database developers use programming concepts. Next, observe Pavani. Suppose software testing, forget about manual testing. In test automation, we use programming now. Anyone, already told, syntax may vary from one language to another, and some features may vary to one language to another. For example, in EFT tool, we use VB script. In Selenium, we use Java or Python or Ruby. You take any functional test automation tool, Silk test or RFT or any tool. Every tool supports any one programming language. Next, come to Preeti Joshi, operating environments. You know Unix administration, Linux administration concepts?
Unix, I know, sir.
Unix administration, one concept is there. Nowadays, special jobs also there in IT industry. Unix administrators, Linux administrators, as like system administrator, network administrator like. Observe, Vijay, in Windows also, Windows, DOS is there na, sub operating system. Otherwise, you can use DOS directly. Observe, Vijay, DOS is there na, disk operating system, DOS,
Yes, sir.
DOS. DOS is
Yes, sir.
command based operating system na.
Correct, sir.
There you can
Yes, sir.
execute commands one by one na. Suppose
Yes, sir.
dir. Next, CLS like close screen like one by one na. If you want to execute multiple commands continuously without user interaction, for that you can write shell programming. Do you heard this term shell? SHELL, shell.
Yes, sir.
Shell
But
scripting,
I'm not sure.
that is also writing code. Conditional statements, loop statements are there. Say for operating system administration, Pavani, generally we don't use system administrators or Linux administrators, Unix administrators like people. In Windows also shell scripting is there. In Linux also shell scripting is there. Unix also shell scripting is there. Getting this point, Preeti Joshi.
Yes, sir.
Any confusion? Why you are saying in dull mode? Tell me, ask me.
No, sir, I am good.
See, Preeti, my intention is explaining about programming, computer programming importance. You go everywhere in IT industry, information technology, Vijay, development, programming, main activity, core activity. Suppose database technologies, database developers use programming features sometimes. For example, PLSQL in Oracle. Next, suppose in operating systems, Windows shell scripting, Linux shell scripting, etc. In software testing also, forget about manual testing. In test automation, particularly functional test automation, forget about performance test automation, test management, etc. Particularly in functional test automation, you take any test tool, they support any one programming language or scripting language. For example, UFT supports VB script, Selenium supports Java, Ruby, or Python, etc. Like that. So programming knowledge is important. Programming knowledge is important, Vijay, but you no need to worry about. In our training program, I will teach Java programming in general orientation from scratch. Any queries, Vijay? Tell me.
No, sir, I'm good with what you have explained
Cool.
till now, sir.
Cool. Observe Preeti Joshi. This chapter not completed. I think this third topic also not completed. What is the third topic? Selenium components are Selenium's tool suite. Tools suite. Okay. Observe Jyotirmayi. In this chapter, Introduction to Selenium chapter, nearly 10 topics. We discussed 3 topics, but third topic incomplete. Tomorrow I will continue this third topic, third to 10th topic. Okay, so far we discussed the first topic, what is Selenium? Second topic, history of the Selenium project. Third topic, Selenium components are Selenium's tool suite. In this third topic, we discussed the Selenium ID subtopic and second one Selenium WebDriver incomplete. Tomorrow I will continue this one. So far, any queries, Jyotirmayi? Any queries?
No, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Pavani, any queries, Pavani?
No, sir.
Welcome. Preeti Joshi, any queries regarding this today's session? Daily I will ask like that, end of the session. While my explanation you can ask, otherwise at end also conclusion. Any queries, Preeti Joshi, regarding this today's topic?
No, sir, I'm good, thanks.
Cool, welcome. Smriti Pandey.
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Vijaya.
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Say all of you. Okay. We will meet tomorrow, same time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.